Hey gang, just want to do a Bitcoin video. Just want to cover and clarify and talk you through the entry. We've got a very low leverage short on, just as a hedge for the time being, as I'm anticipating a pullback for the medium to short term just after this parabolic move. So we'll just start on the weekly. The last video I did explain the price action of recent. Here we have an inverted hammer here, which shows bullish presence, which has been rejected. So it's a form of deceleration and bears becoming present, but still overtaken by the bulls. The following week we had a doji. This is indecision, this is deceleration, but an arm wrestle between buyers and sellers. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's a reversal, could just be a pause in the price action before we continue higher. But last week's candle was the one that raised my eyebrows and my interest. Bearish momentum coming in, pretty much a bearish engulfing candle, closing below previous horizontal support and resistance on the weekly. So from here, my bias is a short pullback to where, looking at around a fib level, the weekly 50 EMA, and about the 6,000, 6,100 mark, which is, as you can see, really good horizontal support and resistance. So that's what I'm anticipating on the high time frames. We've also got the RSI, which is majorly overbought. So pretty clear on the weekly time frame. We've got a little bit of work to do on the lower time frames yet. I won't cover the daily too much, but as you can see, we've got a support level here at about 7,500, which we need to break. Head and shoulders pattern here, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, which we're just forming and completing now possibly. So once that forms, anticipating a break of the neckline, and then first level of support is the daily 50. Beyond that, we'll head off to our target. But the 4 hour is where all the action happens. So where did we enter our trade? As I've got the measuring tool here, this is about where I entered the trade. On the lower time frames, it looked to me like it had broken and closed below this EMA and the neckline and horizontal support and resistance. It didn't on the 4 hour, got rejected, got some tweezers there, and then it pulled up, popped pretty hard. So I'll cover that in a minute as to why. There was one or two things I overlooked, but as far as this trade goes, we've now confirmed on the lower time frames, the 4 hour time frame, a lower high. First lower high here, double bottom, lower high here. So we haven't got a lower low yet, but we do have a higher high. So first sign of a trend change, break this neckline, and it's most certainly a trend change. But we just got to be careful of this trend line here. We're just hovering on the 4 hour 50 EMA, but we break this trend line, and there's possibly a bit of horizontal support and resistance here. So about here. So we break this region here, it'll invalidate my trade. We'll close it down. Currently our stop loss is 8,500. If it breaks that horizontal level there, we'll close it down early. But yeah, the next 1 to 3 days are pretty important. We need to break this neckline to get moving. So another confluence factor is a break and retest of the 4 hour 50 MA. Dynamic support and resistance. Dynamic meaning it's variable, it changes, it's not like a fixed horizontal line, it'll change with price action. So as you can see, all the way back here, prices tracked the 4 hour 50 EMA. It did break and then break back above there, but it's tracked it pretty nicely. A few rejections along the way, but we've got a clear break and retest and cap to the underside here. So at the moment, important area here that we do stay below the 4 hour 50 EMA. Now, just to finish off, I will show you the CME futures. What I didn't consider at the time of entry, and I probably should have because I've been looking at this a lot closer of late, is CME gaps. So this is the 4 hour here. I'll just bring this over. Right, so gaps in the market more often than not get filled. Sometimes they don't, but eventually on a deep pullback they most likely will. So we had a gap here, it got filled twice here. that gap got filled, and over the weekend we had this gap here. So we entered our short about here, but what I probably should have considered was scaling and staggering the entry because of that gap. I didn't look at this chart at the time, so we entered a bit lower on a full size position, so I should have entered there and also had a scaling opportunity here. So the CME futures, we're still capped and rejecting the 4-hour 50 EMA, which is here, and this gap here is yet to be filled, and the close of the gap is around 7,100, 7,200. So that'll be the target if we do break below this horizontal support and resistance level, which is the neckline on the 4-hour 50. So that's what I'm looking at, guys. We're just tracking sideways a little bit. Could end up just be doing one of those Bart Simpson patterns. Who knows? But yeah, that's the one out there. Yeah, the next couple of days are pretty important. We want to start breaking back below this level. So that's it, guys. That's the analysis on the Bitcoin trade. It's a hedge trade. We've put larger than our normal 10% account size on this trade, but we've got much lower leverage. So if the trade does fail, we will have a slightly bigger loss than normal, but I'll be monitoring carefully and getting out early if we need to. So if we do break below, we can adjust our leverage, reduce our risk on the trade, and also trail our stop loss. So yeah, we'll give it a few days to play up. Hopefully it works out for us.